that's why it's so weird. That's why it's so weird when like this UFO disclosure thing comes out. This guy, what is
Didn't it
his
just
name?
come out today?
Yesterday.
A whistleblower?
Yeah. This gentleman, David Grush. And David Grush, let's find out who he is and what his credentials were. But he essentially said that they are illegally hiding it from Congress, and they are illegally hiding it from the American people, but they have off-world craft in possession.
Who's the they in that?
It's somewhere. Well, it's in the things they're saying is. Oh, here, let's read it. Air Force veteran has made a bombshell claim that U.S. government has recovered materials that could be proof of UFOs, including an intact craft of non-human origin, but they are keeping it a secret from the public. David Charles Grush, a veteran and former member of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and National Reconnaissance Office, has blown the whistle on this information, speaking with several news outlets about the crafts. These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles. Call it a spacecraft if you will. Non-human exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed, Mr. Grush told News Nation. Mr. Grush served as senior technical advisor for the unidentified aerial phenomenon analysis with top secret compartmented information clearance, according to the debrief. He also served as a senior intelligence officer in the National Reconnaissance Office. In total, he has 14 years of experience serving as an intelligence officer. So here's the question. Is that a PSYOP? Is this, we've got a non-human craft, a PSYOP? Like if I was the government and I was working on some shit and I didn't want China or Russia to know about it and we could do some wild shit, some anti-gravity shit. I thought it was totally nuts and I thought at first I was being deceived. But it was a ruse, Mr. Grush told News Nation. People started to confide in me, approach me. I have plenty of senior former intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that confided in me that they were part of a program. He told the debrief that he's prepared many briefs on UFOs for Congress, but last year decided to provide hours of classified information and data about the Materials Recovery Program. Mr. Grush claims the Materials Recovery Program was shielded from proper congressional oversight. So this is what Bob Lazar has been saying forever. This guy's saying that it was going on for 80 years. So like this brings us back to the 1940s. I mean, this means like Roswell. This is what they were talking about when all the people that were at Roswell, that were at the actual crash site and the actual claim they saw bodies. And then there was two different aircrafts that were flown in to Roswell, New Mexico, and took the wreckage and flew it in two different aircrafts in case one of them crashed, supposedly. And they flew them to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. This has all been documented. Now, if that was a balloon, it was just a balloon, why would they go through such lengths? And why are there so many people that have so many stories about Roswell? Why are there so many hokey, goofy fucking explanations of what happened, including it was a parachute and there was human dummies, like crash test dummies that were evolved. There were crash testing things, like not according to the people that were there. What they saw was materials that could not be explained, insanely light. You would crumple it and it would immediately flex back to the stage that was out there. And they found things that had some sort of writing that resembled hieroglyphs. They don't, I mean, these people, they could have all been full of shit. It could have been just some story, something happened and everybody told everybody and you're playing a game of telephone and the next thing you know, it's this wild story of bodies and little tiny caskets and, and people being silenced. But the problem is the story is very universal. When they're all telling the story, it's real similar, man. It's a real, and the guy who was a part of the initial release, he went public afterwards and said that stuff that we showed the American public when they were sitting there, I forget the gentleman's name, but he was showing like a piece of a weather balloon and they had this smile on their face. And this is one day after I think it was the Roswell Daily Record. They had the front page of the newspaper that the government has recovered a crashed UFO.
I mean, I don't know how big the universe is.
This is the gentleman. So let's play this.
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will. It's probably not the right parlance, but no kidding, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
That's
all
it.
I've had.
Where's the whole interview?
Probably that website.
See if you can find. Is that something you have to sign up for? What is it? News. What is it?
News Nation.
News Nation. Meanwhile, that might be a 100% government-controlled organization that just promotes propaganda. That guy's working for them. You got to think about all these things.
I know.
News Nation. Who are these
Where
folks?
Chris Cuomo ended up.
Oh,
I don't know what
interesting.
channel it is.
He's their fucking centerpiece. Look at that.
Yes, he is.
He looks a little tanner than usual.
Can we save ourselves from ourselves, Joe? To go back to the humanity sliding towards the brink?
It's possible.
Oh, here's the 10-minute interview.
Okay, let's hear this
What
guy.
do you want? How much?
Just play it. Let's just see what's up.
Military program that has reportedly found wreckage of fully intact exclusive
On the UFO question.
What conclusion did you come to at the end of your time on the UAP task force?
The UAP task force was refused access to a broad crash retrieval program.
When you say crash retrieval, what do you mean?
These are retrieving non-human origin technical vehicles, call it spacecraft if you will, non-human, exotic origin vehicles that have either landed or crashed.
We have spacecraft from another species.
We do, yeah.
How many?
Quite a number.
You're kidding.
No. I thought it was totally nuts, and I thought at first I was being deceived. It was a ruse. People started confiding in me. They approached me. I have plenty of current and former senior intelligence officers that came to me, many of which I knew almost my whole career, that confided in me they were a part of a program. They named the program. I've never heard of it. And they told me, based on their oral testimony, and they provided me documents and other proof, that there was, in fact, a program that the UAP task force was not read into.
Grush alleges the U.S. government.
Does it keep going? What else does it say?
The entire American public has been lied to for decades.
Yeah, there's a sophisticated disinformation campaign targeting the U.S. populace, which is extremely unethical and immoral.
You are saying to the human race, for the first time, an official intelligence representative at a high level from the US government is saying publicly, we are not alone.
We're definitely not alone. Absolutely, the data points empirically that we're not alone, yeah.
Do we have bodies? Do we have species of
Well,
non-human?
naturally, when you recover something that's either landed or crashed, sometimes you encounter dead pilots. And believe it or not, as fantastical as that sounds, it's true.
It's also harder for people to wrap their minds around the concept.
I don't know, man.
He might be full of shit.
Well,
He might be.
I'm fascinated.
Agent. He might be a government agent.
Well, to unpack that a little bit, so there are. I can only speak to it from a military perspective. So he was in the Air Force. There are programs, they're covered programs, or there are programs that you're not going to get read into. And just because you're read into one program doesn't mean you're going to get read into other ones. So his clearance, TSSCI, is not an uncommon one. It's the same clearance that I held that I was in. Having a clearance, there's two things, right? You have to have the clearance, and then you have to have the need to know. So you could view him saying we were not read into another program as something that would be conspiratorial, or you could view it as like one program didn't necessarily have something to do with the other one, so there's no need to actually read them in. I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm fascinated to understand. It sounds like what he is saying is that the United States military is nesting that program, the program to go recover, and I would be fascinated to know how they are doing that invisibly. I mean, we're talking aircraft. We're talking identification early on, aircraft moving teams, and this, you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of shit.
Right.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
But there are people that are coming forward. So it's not like
Sure.
they're totally being quiet, which is sort of
They're
in
coming
line
forward with a
human
piece.
nature.
They're coming forward with a piece of a pie. I'd be
Right.
fascinated how all the pieces of the pie fed together. I'm not saying what he's saying isn't true, but watching that actually, for me, with my limited understanding of some of the stuff he was talking about, I have more questions that I would want to ask him.
Yeah, I would want to ask him too.